Hello, Internets. This is BoneCarlos with Nov17, renamed aptly, coming to you live from Xeris Prime, bringing another StarCraft 2 commentary shoutcast kind of thing. How you doing over there, man?
Well, I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome, awesome. The players today are going to be Yungster spawning as the Red Zerg. His opponent is going to be DOAISM spawning as the same race, unfortunately in the blue version. Blue coding, look at that. That's interesting. So, ZVZ, I know this Zerg players aren't really your strong suit, but given that both these players are Silver League players, what do you expect out of these two guys?
I expect Zergling, Baneling, Monkey knife fights.
Zergling, Baneling, Monkey knife fights. Oh, and have you ever seen Monkey versus Bear?
I haven't, but I'm intrigued now.
Apparently there's a YouTube video floating around somewhere where it was over in Asia, I do believe, where they had a monkey and a bear riding a tricycle around a racetrack trying to race. You heard me correctly. Unfortunately, in the middle of the race, one decided to attack the other, and it did not end well.
I imagine not. I imagine that's how things would go for me if I was a monkey or a bear.
Yeah, very true. And now it looks like we see Yungster saving up to get himself an early hatch, while DOAISM is getting himself early spawning pool with that extractor. So expect him to get a... Well, actually, this extractor is a bit late. So he's not going to have the 100 gas necessary for that metabolic boost for those Zerglings as soon as that spawning pool pops. But like I said, Silver League players, it's a-okay. Things can happen, things can get switched around, and really you can't really hate on them that much because, hey, we all start somewhere, correct?
Yep, that's definitely right. I'm kind of confused, though, because Yungster doesn't have the hatchery down yet. Now has a spawning pool down.
Now has a hatchery.
Yes, and that spawning pool is immensely late. Like, if DOAISM here hit some kind of ling timing with like a dozen ling or something, that could just instantly won him the game.
And unfortunately, he still hasn't put any drones on that extractor. For any of you lower league players, not saying that that's wrong or not, just saying for any of you lower league players, don't build a building or a unit that you're not going to use. Don't build an Ultralist Cavern if you're not going to build Ultralist. Don't build a Cybernetics Core if you only want to build Zealots. Don't build an Extractor if you're not going to mine that gas. Just save your gas for something else. And a Spine Crawler. DOAISM is trying to put down a Spine Crawler behind Yungster's base. Didn't really work out because Yungster was prepared, and he pulled off almost the exact number of workers that you want to pull off. The ideal number is 4, I do believe, depending on the surface area. And right now he did have enough to put down a 4th. But 3 was enough to just shoo away DOAISM.
Yep, that Spine Crawler was dangerously close to getting done. Unfortunately, did not happen here. And now DOAISM is double expanding like a boss.
Very true. Finally puts those workers on that extractor. He's putting down that larva, vomiting it up. While at the same time, Yungster is going to go ahead and looks like he's going to move over, or he's going to build another Spine Crawler. He already has a Spine Crawler in his main base. And gonna go ahead and build another one at his natural. Just, you know, a little bit on his toes after DOAISM tried to do that sneaky Spine Crawler harass early on.
Dude, that would scare me too. scare me into building 3 bunkers. You heard, 3. I don't even make Marines, but I'd build bunkers.
Just bunkers all over the map. They could shoot by themselves, right? And at the same time, DOAISM.
Put those SVs in there and use them fusion cutters.
They're, you know, very true, and that definitely works out. Whoops. Looks like DOAISM lost an Overlord. But that's a-okay, and Yungster actually might have no, he does not have vision of this third base. He is like a pixel or 2 off. But that is a-okay. Second and third bases pop at around the same time. Yungster might have the unit advantage, 20 Zerglings compared to the 2 Queens that DOAISM has, and already producing a Baneling nest on top of that. So we're gonna see macro versus not macro in this matchup.
Yep, and if he gets a sizable amount of roaches, DOAISM that is, then he can hold us off if he plays his cards right here. I mean, roaches are definitely resistant to that baling acid as opposed to the squishiness of zerglings or marines per se. So we'll just have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what I do like about DOAISM, he does have the appropriate number of queens per base. He has a queen at his natural, he has a queen at his start, and he has a queen at his base, and he's keeping up fairly well with his larva injects. Neither queen above 25 energy, and we actually see Youngsters pushing forward with his Zerglings. He does have that Baneling Nest up and running, and look at this. Those Zerglings are going to surround DOAISMs and take them down almost instantly. This queen is going to go down within a matter of seconds. No chance for that. Drone says, screw you guys, I'm going home with my mineral patch.
I don't like that decision of pulling those banelings on that hatchery, but again, like you said, this is silver. But guys, just a tip: when you got those banelings here, just kind of micro them off to the side there. Let them detonate on something more worthwhile, like a bunch of drones, some zerglings, heck, even roaches. I feel like it's better than being used on a building unless you are trying to just specifically bust in with banelings.
And again, it looks like he's just it looks like he's just selecting all of his army units and just attacking at once. And look at that! Oh, the banelings! What happened to Youngster's army?
It just evaporated.
Oh my lord! Suddenly, this game took a turn for the worse, in my opinion, for Youngster, because he was doing so well. It took out base number 2, base number 3 of DOAISM, and all of a sudden, all of his units died, and DOAISM still has plenty of Zerglings and Banelings at his disposal.
Yep, but his time window is not exactly the greatest because he's got himself a long distance to the other base, no creep there. And of course, his fellow Zerg opponent can get a bunch of Zerglings and Banelings quickly off of a larva inject.
And you're very correct. I mean, it's very true. But looking at the units lost tab, we see 30 units lost by Youngster, 1,000 resources, 14 units lost by DOAISM, 1,500 resources. So generally, what happens in a ZVZ, you get these crazy numbers, cheeky shenanigans, especially when Banelings and Zerglings aren't involved. No roaches on the field just yet. None in production. Still more, looks like more banelings are being produced by Youngster. And DOAISM has plenty. Look like he's taking his natural expansion yet again. And here we go. Youngster's going to go ahead and push out again with his Zergling Baneling force. Oh, you know what? Say what you want about lower league players or lower league play. I just love this sort of stuff. Streaming the Zerglings in single file up against all of these Banelings, clumping together. Clumping them together.
No shame.
None whatsoever. Loved it. Oh, here comes another Baneling. Oh, yes. Just clump those Zerglings together. Now it's going to be a Baneling on Baneling assault. Here comes a single Zergling going to get cheeky. DOAISM is just trying to do something. Oh, my God. At the end of the day, nothing survived. Yes. Oh, Lord. Oh, that is the greatest thing ever.
Not a single shit was good.
Not a single.
By any Baneling, they're just like, come at me, bro.
Nothing.
Either way, we're all dead.
Oh, nothing better than having all the Zerglings die out, and then it's just a Baneling on Baneling fight. Like, no one's gonna win in that situation. I love it. Looks like DOAISM has a great saturation on his main and nothing at his natural. Youngster has a decent saturation on both of his bases, so definitely the income is gonna favor him. But if we see battles like that, to hell with macro, to hell with income. Let's see more explosions, and more explosions we shall see. DOAISM queuing up 24 more Banelings, and oh, I hope this is gonna be good.
We should definitely see, as they are all just about morphed in. Yep, all of them. Bam. No real units coming out right now from Youngster, but I mean, again, he's got a pretty safe distance, right now, so he isn't highly pressured. Although there were changelings in his base for quite a while.
Yeah, so that Overseer is up there. So Lair Tech by both players. I see Youngsters researching Galil Reconstitution. And now he puts up those roaches, so great job by him. I was going to point out that, again, don't research, don't build something that you're not going to use, but Galil Reconstitution is pretty much going to be, is finished. Roaches pop at just the right time. So now all these, that's still a lot of banelings, though. I don't know about this. This is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see. We see 5 roaches, 24 banelings. What's going to happen?
I'd really like to see him move those spine crawlers up and help, hopefully aid with killing some banelings or taking some of the damage from the banelings. But oh no, it's going down. It is going down.
And here it comes. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, look at the hits on all those drones. And immediately DOAISM goes for the main. Oh, great move. Bypasses all of those roaches. Going to go ahead and hit all of those roaches. They're going to line up. The queen blocks off most of those drones. They actually managed to take down another spine crawler. Oh, looking at the workers kill, 20 for DOAISM, 1 for Yungster. Units lost tab. Again, look at that. They pretty much evened out. And yet again, 4,400 resource lost by Yungster. 4,800 by DOAISM. Both players are going to use, I believe both these players are using the same build order.
Yeah, because I've seen the same research come out of both of them just at different times.
So gotta love the power of the internet. Sometimes you have players doing things that they don't really know why they're doing it, but someone told them to do it, and they're gonna go ahead and do it anyways. They're gonna go ahead and go Ling, Baneling, go into roaches to protect against the banelings, but also you need a Spire because you need Mutalisk, because that's really great if your opponent has no anti-air. I think I just spelled out ZVZ in a nutshell, a la 2 years ago.
Yep. Now it's a little bit different. I mean, I haven't honestly watched any pro ZVZs since HOTS has been out. I'm sure I will eventually, but yeah, definitely. I'm sure there are some differences.
Yeah. Well, I mean, infestors aren't really the norm anymore. We already see a hatchery being built for a third base for Yungster, no third for DOAISM. He definitely has the resources. 1,200 minerals, and here it comes, single fire yet again. Oh, the banelings. And it looks like DOAISM decides to pull back. Banelings versus Zerglings? No, I want no part of that. Pulls back his banelings.
We have one thing I find kind of nifty here is that these roaches and banelings, they can get in here and do some damage. They really can, because right now he outnumbers him a bit, and I'd really like to see Yungster get aggressive here a little bit. Oh, and just one other thing I'd like to poke fun at is that the way the spore crawler works now in ZVZ is amazing. Is really 3 spore crawlers is enough now to scare away a sizable amount of mutas.
Again, we saw a baneling on baneling fight. Pretty much nullified any banelings. Now it's wow, look at that. Yungster research burrow, and this roach is just hanging out now.
Like, what up, brothers?
And looking at the unit stat, how many Mutalisks are on the field now? We see 5 from DOAISM, none from Yungster, but in production 12 from Yungster, 6 more from DOAISM. So both players again with equal amount of Mutalisks that is going to happen in, I would say, about 30 seconds.
Yep, it's funny because DOAISM got 5, and then now he's making 6, and Youngster's just like, I'll just get the same amount at the same time as you. But
exactly. So both of these players evenly matched, skill for skill, and finally this Overseer is just gonna go ahead and scout around the map. And the original Overlord that was sent out from the beginning of the game is hanging out in the same spot for Yungster in the northern part of the map. Mutalisk crossing the field. Ooh, this might catch DOAISM off guard.
Yep, because especially since I believe
he's gonna
no,
he's just there, right? Don't move him, DOAISM. You got this. There it is. There it comes. DOAISM reacts almost instantaneously. He's gonna go ahead and push forward with his Mutalisk. So Mutalisk on Mutalisk. Here come more Mutalisk from Yungster, but the two decide to say, you know what? Nah, I want no part of that. And oh my lord, and Yungster just got demolished. And allow me to theory craft for just a second here after you finish your thought.
I think we now know how the game ended.
Pretty much. Now, the reason being is the way the Glaive Worm works. It hits one opponent, and then it bounces off another, and then bounces off another, on diminishing returns. So if however many attack it does, the second attack does less, the third attack does less. If you're gonna use your Mutalisks aggressively into another pack of Mutalisks, the defending player immediately has the advantage, because the only thing that the defending Mutalisk player Glaive Worm can bounce off of is another enemy Mutalisk. Whereas the attacking player, the Glaive Worm, could bounce off onto an enemy structure or any units underneath. That was why DOAISM won that Mutalisk fight single-handedly, because I'm willing to bet a lot of those Glaive Worms bounced off onto the base, or the remaining drones underneath, or maybe even the distractors.
Yeah, but I'm definitely suspecting you're correct on that one, and that one's just that was just something I don't know much about. I mean, granted, it's my lack of Zerg knowledge in terms of just in-depth things, but yeah, you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, so just a little, you know, for all of my little Zerg brethren, even though you guys aren't really my brethren because I hate Zerg as a Protoss player, yeah,
So
well,
we all.
you know, they're the icky bugs. What are you gonna do? If you're gonna have used Mutalisks in a Mutalisk versus Mutalisk fight, try to attack when you have other units or buildings around you. That way, do you absorb some of those Glaive Worms attacks. So that was it for this replay. I actually enjoyed this one. It was very enjoyable because I enjoyed it. Bailing on Bailing, Mutalisk on Mutalisk, Zergling on Zergling, Roach Bailing on Roach Bailing. That was great times. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, as much as we did. If not, leave comments down below on what we could do to make it more enjoyable for you. If you guys want us to cast one of your own replays, feel free to upload them to one of the major replay sites. Drop.sc is very popular. GG Tracker is up there as well. That's it for me. Any parting words of wisdom, Nav?
If you pizza instead of French fry, you're gonna have a bad time.
We will debate this after this cast. Later, guys!
Have a good one.